So at this time, we are preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only. You have up to 5 minutes per person, one time off. If any members of the public wishes to address the council on this specific ordinance, please approach the council. Anyone? Seeing none?
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig. Yes. Council President Escobar.
Yes. Then we have ordinance number 2, a capital ordinance providing for various general capital improvement and acquisitions in and by the city of New Brunswick and the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, appropriating 3.1 million therefore to pay for the cost thereof. Before we go into having any comments, Mr. Bruce, can you talk a little bit about the capital improvement in this specific ordinance?
Yes, this is the 2023 general capital improvements. Included in here are various items, including acquisition of equipment, vehicles, including X-ray machine for the court, different computer upgrade servers required to maintain the software and the technology in the city, as well as cybersecurity, heavy trucks, dump trucks, plows, a new sanitation truck, a new motor for the police boat, various computer upgrades, as I discussed, replacement of a citywide telecommunications program, improvements for buildings throughout the city, including City Hall, replacement of sidewalks outside of New City Hall, various repairs to the New Mansion, paving of the Joyce Kilmer Park areas, acquisitions of equipment for parks, including mowers and other equipment to mechanize our processes. Installation improvements to the senior center, various equipment for the police department, suppression system, fire suppression system for our IT rooms, improvements to the council chambers, and other various plaster improvements throughout the city hall, acquisition of certain furnitures, and related costs for office improvements.
Thank you. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments on this particular ordinance? So now we are preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only. We have up to 5 minutes per person, one time off. So if any members of the public wishes to speak on this ordinance only, please. Yes.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore. Okay, I heard you mentioned due to where city vehicles, due to where, okay, with these new garbage trucks, when they have air conditioners in it, to keep our workers cool.
New sanitation trucks have full climate system, air conditioning, heating, yes.
And I would say, how many are you purchasing?
One.
One, and how many will that make New Brunswick have that's available due to where I see a line of trucks, but like I said, quite a few of them aren't working properly, so how many?
This is the third, sorry for the chair, thank you. This is the third new truck purchase in recent times. The city will need to purchase no less than 2 more for a full vehicle replacement program. We have some trucks that are still on the road, as you pointed out, as backup trucks. Those trucks will eventually be liquidated as we have our new fleet in place.
Thank you.
Okay, then other one that's where plow trucks due to where something's telling me I see a bad winter, early winter coming. I want to tell Mr. Pete Jones, get ready for early cold blue due to where, so what kind of equipment heads up what this is for?
Mr. Dominguez, can you please give us a motion?
Yes, sure. So this is for a potential redevelopment of the area of the parcel where the Abundant Life Church is on George Street. It's between Nielsen, Morris, George, and Tabernacle Way. The church is not slated to be demolished or anything. The church actually has a significant parcel of land, well over an acre, and they've been looking for a development partner. They found one, and they're looking to develop the rest of their site to make it more productive and give them a longer time that they can operate their church here in a productive way. They'll have a functional parking lot at the end of it, and hopefully some non-insignificant development on the parcel.
Thank you. Any other?
Well, okay, I know now that you're mentioning with the church and all, due to where, what is gonna be due to where I finally got the order saying due to where the church no longer wants the liquor store to open up, then please, what is gonna be done due to where is the church gonna take over that property or something, including due to where, come on, I think something should be done due to where they're the one that's holding back, saying they don't want that liquor store open anymore because next to their church. Please tell me, okay, if you're gonna upgrade, come on, at least what? Do something with that property due to where it's not looking good in the area. So I hope they can work something out due to where, glad that they're fixing it up down there, seeing too much garbage and everything loading up in that area, so sounds great, but like I said, hopefully make up their mind which way they're gonna go, get that liquor store out or not looking good, so thank you.
Thank you. Just for the record, the liquor store is not owned by the church.
I know it's not owned by the church, but due to
I
where,
understand. I thank you, Ms. Daniel. I'm just making a comment. Thank you for.
due to where, the reason why I brought it up, as I was told, it was the church that was the meaning of why the liquor store would no longer open up due to where it was against them.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Carter?
Yes, good evening, Council. Charlie Prattville, New Brunswick today. I was at the planning board when they referred this to you, and just want to clarify, the plan that's before you tonight would allow for a building to be built that would be by far the tallest in the city, up to 450 feet tall, should be like 45 stories, if and only if the applicant makes 10% of the units affordable. Is that correct?
Mr. Dominguez?
That is correct, although the maximum height of 450 is limited regardless to only 20% of the building. So it wouldn't be the whole site. There's only 20% of the site could be up to that high. I just want to clarify. But yes, and it's conditional on them having 10% of their units be affordable.
I would respectfully say, why not a higher percentage of affordable units? Many of the projects here do 20% affordable. We're creating a new situation that's unprecedented in terms of the height allowed. Why not require, maybe even more than 20% affordable units to be able to do that extraordinary height? Would that be something the council would be amenable to?
I'm open to listen and see, absolutely. We have to see what.
Okay.
Well, how do we go about doing that? Can you,
I will see, we'll talk to Mr. Dominguez. Is there any reason why they're only doing 10%?
We reviewed it and had discussions about it. Given that the actual project, the massing of it, the actual amount of floors and whatnot, aren't, besides the height, it's completely compliant. And so it's not, there wouldn't be more units than there would otherwise be if there is the height. There's not exactly any meaningful bonus where they can make it work at more than 10% affordable units on the site. So the project is essentially unworkable beyond 10% affordable.
The way it's presented at this time.
I'm sorry?
The way it's presented at this time.
Yes.
right, and I would posit that the way that the redevelopment is, supposed to work is the council is supposed to decide what you want, and then property owners, developers can come up with something that meets that. I don't think it's right to say, well, what does the developer want, and make our ordinance match that. I was at the planning board again, and we heard learned that there were 0 units of affordable housing created in the last year. We're in a housing crisis. This is a developer that has never worked with the city before, to my knowledge, and I don't think we should just take their dictates or take their word for it. If they say we can only do 10%, that's the last and final offer. I think it's way too early to be, acquiescing to their terms. This council has the power to set a redevelopment plan that's more ambitious, and if we're gonna, give them that permission to build a building taller than anything we've ever seen in the city, I think they should have an unprecedented level of affordable housing in it. And that's my 2 cents, but I would encourage it to hold off on approving this and make some changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? None?
Motion to approve.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
No.
Duly noted. Councilmember Fleming.
Abstain.
Duly noted. Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
No.
Duly noted.
Thank you. Now we have ordinance on first reading. We have number 1, is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, handicap parking, section 10.20.010, schedule 39, parking zones for handicap parking. We are adding 52 right-of-ways.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 1st, 5:30 PM, same day to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Then we have an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 3, Building and Finance. This is chapter 3, 2024, cannabis taxes.
You look over the whole? Here you go.
I move the ordinance setting down November 1st, 2023 at 5:30 PM, same day to be advertised.
Have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
No.
Duly noted. Council President Escobar.
Yes. Then we have ordinance number 3, ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 5, business licenses and regulations. This is chapter 5, cannabis licensing and regulations.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 1st, 5:30 PM, same day to be advertised.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Then we have, and number 6, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, vehicles and traffic. This is traffic control regulations. Schedule AB, loading zones. This is in reference to Bishop Place.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 1st, 5:30 PM, same day to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Thank you. Then, we have resolutions 1 through 17. Anybody, my fellow council members, have any questions or any comments on any of the resolutions? Having none, I'm going to open the floor for public comment on the resolutions only. If you would like to address the council on the resolutions only, you have up to 5 minutes per person, 1 time up. So,
Hi, yes, Mayor Moore, once again, I see, I'm going to start with the back, 16, where drive slow receiving these grants, but please tell me why I don't see New Brunswick Police Department doing their jobs, checking people for drinking and driving. For example, due to where also, like I said, for one of our own police officers, a couple of months ago, drinking and driving, due to where what did you say? He was off duty. Whether he was off duty or not, due to where he's under the law, in the law, he should know the law, not drinking and driving. Wow, to see another situation with, even though it was still part of New Brunswick, but it was on Franklin's side, with an Edison cop drinking and driving. And like I said, with seeing too many drinking and driving, please, why do you keep, where is this money going to? Due to where what? You don't even see the police department giving out tickets for speeding, running red lights. Please, where is this money going to?
Anything else, Ms. Allen?
That's my main question, and then we'll go from there. Can you please tell me?
Your questions, and I will address it once you're done, so we don't take away your time. So
No, I would like to hear the answer. Please let me get an answer. I don't want you to answer me and then do it to where I sit down and then I can't respond back. I'm asking you this time. Please tell me where.
This one is for enforcement. Lieutenant Hoover, if you could talk a little bit about this grant we have been applying for. the
Yes,
past-
Council President, it's in advance of the holiday season. It's a DWI grant that we apply for and receive every year. It helps us put additional officers on the road to proactively look for drunk drivers that would minimizing the expense to the city and paying overtime.
Well, I say New Brunswick Police Department, all these grants that they're getting, while doing a very horrible job due to where, like I said, the evidence showing, due to where too much drinking and driving, too many bars in New Brunswick, like I said, all the liquor stores, too much drinking and driving involved with crashes, what the evidence proved, but like I said, wow, for a police officer, New Brunswick police officer, to only get 8 days suspension for drinking and driving, and you make excuses, he was off duty. Like I said, stop protecting the police department, making excuses for them, because they're surely not doing their jobs. 46 years that I've been a resident here? Wow, I've never seen this many motor vehicle crashes, and most of them, how many have been involved with drinking and driving? I tell you, last month, that was a situation over in front of my house by the pub bar, drinking and driving. Please, I'm seeing too much of it. Lady drinking and driving? Oh, don't go hit and run. Oh, don't call the police. I don't have no driver's license. No, don't call the police. What is New Brunswick doing? Getting paid to sit on their hats.
Thank you. And watch your language, please be careful how you address this council. Thank you. Mr. Carter?
Yes, good evening. Start with the first one, or number 4. An event in Easter Park, Friday, 27th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Will the restrooms be open?
Mr. Ruiz, the restaurant will be open as soon as when your staff there. Actually, the restaurants are open in most of our parks from 7:30 to 3:30, if I'm correct. That's when we have staff in those areas. After staff leaves, in some instances, they have to be closed, and in some of the parks, we do have porta johns that people can use, and we're trying now to, it is my understanding that we're trying to have the park patrol have them have a key just in case of emergency. And there's reasons for that, why we cannot, if the staff is still there, they cannot man the properties and make sure that nothing gets destroyed as it had been in the past. Mr. Ruiz.
Just to add to your comment, Council President, that the Parks Department is open from 7:30 to 3:30. You're correct. Generally around 3:15, the Parks employees will lock up the bathroom because they do need to report back to the office by 3:30. I know the exact moment was in question last time, and I think it's something.
Well, it doesn't comport with what I've seen at the park. I hope it changes, because I come by sometimes at 1 p.m. That's when they're closed. I haven't seen them open yet, so I think we have an event. We're encouraging people to show up sometime between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. I hope the restaurant will be open for the entirety of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Anything else?
Yes, move on to the corrective action plan. Are these the only items in it, the ones here for the construction department?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have any comment on that, or how these mistakes were made? What's being done to make sure they don't So it says it came to our attention that certain fees charged did not agree with the approved fee ordinance on file with the city. That was within the construction department. Can you tell me were the fees being charged greater than what the ordinance allowed or less than what the ordinance allowed?
Mr. Cruz,
You don't remember this now?
I think it's we updated those fees, right, and it wasn't updated in the.
We did, the amounts that they were off were minimal to the exact amount of the ordinance, and in the average, it ended up, I think, being about the same, but Mr. Mulroy, do you want to add anything to that?
covered that pretty well.
And they were unfortunately human error, and we're looking to adjust our input mechanisms to the database to curb that future.
Thanks, appreciate that. Number 6 is some minor site plan requirements for nightclubs and smoking lounges. I want to understand what prompted this change and what exactly you're referring to.
So this ordinance, or the referral of this ordinance was sent to the planning board, that would require when some location in a zone where nightclubs or smoking lounges, hookah lounges, et cetera, are permitted, that they would have to go through minor site plan review rather than just be subject to administrative review, as both of these have potential for nuisance issues on noise or fire or smoke and impact to the immediately adjacent buildings or residents if they're directly above. And so we just want additional review to make sure that they're mitigating all of these factors before they occupy their space.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Thanks. And then finally, one to comment on the last item, the ends in 337. I'm just curious why the council is not choosing to do a community benefits agreement with the NJEDA, and instead you're just sort of signing off on being happy with the project. Why not do the community benefit agreement?
Mr. Dominguez?
I'm sorry.
Would you like to know about that?
The last one?
Yeah,
All right.
Spring Street.
So this is, the Spring Street project is, they're applying for NJ Aspire, which is a program from, I believe, the NJEDA. And so this is a resolution essentially supporting their application for funds for that grant program.
Right, and it says here, the council does hereby adopt the resolution to satisfy the requirements to provide community benefits in lieu of entering into a community benefits agreement with the NJEDA. My question is, why not do a formal agreement with this developer?
Mr. Chairman, the language of the resolution.
What the developer decided to do, this is the mechanism of financing that they sought to obtain.
Right, and it seems apparent that there's an option here for a community benefit agreement, and I would humbly suggest that you look into that option before giving up that option.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes, you don't want this one.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Seeing none?
Move the resolutions. Councilmember Anderson.
Right.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda. Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. So, any comments from my fellow council members before I start with mine?
We just want to keep your thoughts and prayers for those in the Middle East, especially the innocent people who are being blown apart right now in the Middle East. A lot of times we say, okay, that's all they do there, but it can hit home real quick. I got a son that's currently deployed right now, so everything that happens, you know, it hits home all the time. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. Anybody else? Just few comments before we go into the public portion part of the meeting. I just want to, first of all, I just want to congratulate Captain Michael Bobadilla. He received a Community Service Award last Friday from the Violence Intervention and Prevention Specialist and the City Council of Newark for the great work that he does and the contributions that he does here in our city to reduce violence. Also congratulate Giselle here because she's getting an award, recognize Councilwoman Gaskin, who's getting an award from Pam's list. And before I do some updates on some of the questions from the last meeting, I know he's not expecting me to say that, but I'm a big person. I'm big on birthdays, so I just want to wish Mr. Ruiz a happy birthday today. So, we talked about the bathroom at Fuster Park. We addressed I asked Mr. Director Keith Jones to come and give an update. I wanted for us to hear why the city in 2023, I call it homeless plan initiative that we are working on for the city as we are getting ready for the cold weather to start coming soon. And Ms. Daniela, I agree, there's going to be, probably it's going to be very cold, and we want to make sure that we provide our everyone information about the programs and how we are getting ready to assist our own house residents in the city. Mr. Jones?
Good evening. Director Keith Jones, Department of Human and Community Services, provided an update last meeting about the efforts that the department is currently servicing right now. I would really call it 2024 initiative. We have 2 months left of this year. And our plan is always the plan to provide services not only to the homeless population, but to the vulnerable population. Unfortunately, this is the time of the year where people really want to hear about homelessness because it's getting cold. But as we all know, homelessness does not take any season off. So these same individuals that are homeless out through the winter have been homeless throughout the summer. A couple things that the department has been doing is we started a municipal homeless prevention. Baron, how are you? I've seen you. Homeless prevention roundtable meeting where we bring all the service providers to the table, and it's basically just to share resources and create some sort of network. There's agencies all across the county and the city of New Brunswick that are doing this work. It's just happening in silos, so not everyone knows. Not the community doesn't know. The community doesn't know, and the partners don't know. We definitely know that the vulnerable population don't know. So what we're doing is we're pulling people together, creating lists, and making sure that we can balance ideas and resources of each other. That meeting takes place in chambers. It won't take place in chambers this month because we're getting a new makeover. So the next meeting is October 25th at the Hub Teen Center. The entire council is invited, as well as administration and anybody else that provides service to this population. As we know, the Dignity Center has been running all year round, and it's 3 days a week. We went from 2 days a week to 3 days a week, where we provide showers, hot showers. We actually have some social service interaction there now, as well as providing hygiene kits for the vulnerable population. Again, I would stress that all these services that I'm going to mention are not only for the homeless population. These are for people in need. Many of us are one check away from, not being able to have a meal for our families or being able to put gas in the vehicle and such things. So the stigma that are placed on these particular initiatives will make it believe that it's only for the homeless population, and that's not the case. So therefore, people that actually need the services don't take advantage of it because they think it's only for the homeless or going to be perceived as X. Just wrapped up cold red season. We established an air quality alert emergency shelter as well. So we know about the Canadian wildfires that happened. So we actually put into place an air quality shelter now. So we also, as well as the code red, code blue, we have air quality, which also impacts our senior population and our youth, especially those that are asthmatic and have some conditions, pre-existing conditions. Pre-pandemic, there were no less than several outreach teams for the homeless population that were able to connect with new homeless individuals in town, connect them to a case manager, connect them to a food bank, food pantry, connect them to services that were needed. Once the pandemic hit, almost all of them have shut down, and none of them have started back up their agencies. And I mean none of them. So there's zero outreach in terms of the homeless community in the city of New Brunswick. We took that into account. So through a partnership with St. Peter's Hospital, we are launching our own municipal outreach team. And caseworkers. These are just individuals that will canvass the neighborhood, connect with homeless individuals or those in need. You'd be surprised how many homeless individuals don't know where City Hall is, or know where Elijah Promise is. So those two red flags right there let you know that they're not, originators from the city of New Brunswick. So connecting them with case management, connecting them with the services that we provide, connecting them with the services that the county provide, or just asking them, honestly, do they even want help? We assume that every homeless individual that we see on the street hasn't been helped. There's a lot of homeless individuals that are out on the street that don't want our help, and they would much rather be outside. So part of the outreach team is education, not only for the homeless population, but to all of the greater public that donate coats and sneakers and boots and hats and do it over and over and over and over again to, sometimes make themselves feel good. And blankets, what it does is weighs down the homeless individual that they now can't get to the actual service because they have a shopping cart full of stuff that they don't want to leave. So the outreach team will do that connection, that outreach to the homeless, as well as some education, and be able to provide us with lists for the police department, the fire department, the mayor's office, my office, the county. So we won't be duplicating services. We can ID somebody. We know if they've been serviced, or we know if they don't want our service. So we entered into an agreement with Come Home Middlesex County and Catholic Charities. We provide 211 line services at Unity Square. We all know the issues that a lot of our homeless population have had with 211 over the phone. So we entered into an agreement. We're about 4 months into that agreement, where individuals can go there weekly and actually talk to an individual about possibly getting help. So even if they don't get the help, just being able to sit down in front of somebody and have that conversation goes a long way. Make It Count. We all remember Make It Count. Make It Count has quietly been housing people, especially on Ida. We put an entire apartment building in a hotel for about a month due to flooding. We've done some other things with Make It Count donations that all of you have committed to, and if you haven't, I'd like to tell you about it so you can go and drop all your pocket change in the red meters that you see downtown. Make It Count is basically a donation meter that allows for anyone to donate to the vulnerable population through the form of a credit card. You can do it online, as well as deposit coins into the meter. They're red. It has a sign on it that says Make It Count. We know about panhandling. We lost our panhandling case. So panhandling is perfectly legal in the city of New Brunswick. But over the years, panhandling has become more and more aggressive, especially with mental illness spiking and addiction spiking. The aggressive nature has been sky high. So people are more apprehensive now than ever to give money to the homeless population. So now we are relaunching Make It Count. The challenge we have is the meters that we were using that are there now are currently dated, so they don't take credit card swipes anymore. But they still take coins, and those coins are emptied out monthly. They are then taken to United Way of Central Jersey, who's our fiscal agent, and we are relaunching the campaign online as well as throughout the city. So that relaunch will happen at the end of November. Everything that I'm mentioning will be on our city website, and there will be constant updates weekly by me personally for any of this information. So if anybody wants to ask a question or verify any of this, we're open book. The Division of Human Services, we're going to host our first social service open house on November 27th at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. That's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That open house is for social service agencies to provide services to this population. We know if you don't have a case manager, sometimes it's tough to get into some of these offices, some of these buildings. If you don't know where these places are at, if you don't have ID, most of these caseworkers or institutions won't even entertain you. So we are going to do an open house just like we would do a job fair. And this open house will provide everything from food security, resources, to, I have Ed DeVoe standing outside in the hallway. We're trying to get the Division of Motor Vehicles to bring their mobile units so people can get their IDs cleaned up or take care of all their motor vehicle issues or challenges that they need to take care of. The biggest issue for a lot of our homeless population is the lack of ID. The lack of ID doesn't get you into a shelter, doesn't get you your medications, doesn't get you all these different things. So that's going to happen on the 27th.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
About the ID in the library, how's that coming?
Municipal ID, I think Council President Rebecca is a little more knowledgeable on municipal ID.
They get it, they do that. So this is an extra, sometimes if they don't make it there, it's another extra way.
The challenge is, so we're talking homeless people from any and everywhere. We had to reach out literally to a town in Germany to try to get a homeless individual's birth certificate in order for them to get services. So while the municipal ID program is great for the Brunswick residents, it does absolutely nothing for the homeless population that could be from anywhere from Philly to China. They're located in Brunswick for a week. We're trying to provide them services.
Mr. Jones, I didn't want to interrupt you before, but the meeting on the 25th, at what time is it?
Those meetings are at 10:30, and you should have an invite.
Okay.
The Division of Human Services is currently working on harm reduction, on resources throughout the city. We know the homeless population now is more, again, like I said, it's not the run-of-the-mill homeless individual down their luck. Everybody, 98% of our homeless population now has a mental illness or an addiction issue. We have an outfit in town, harm reduction. They are masters at working with this population. Right now, we're in conversation with them to figure out ways that we can be better partners. Hopefully get them to take over the Code Blue initiative. Fingers crossed. Probably won't happen this year, but it'll probably happen next year. They want to be trained first, so they'll probably shadow us this entire season with the goal of being able to take over the initiative. I guess the tale of a good leader is knowing when you have reached the pinnacle of what you can do for a certain population. And honestly, the homeless population that uses our Code Blue program is not the homeless population. It's more the mental illness and addiction community. So why not go to the people that know how to do that type of work? The Division of Human Services is hosting a Thanksgiving dinner for the homeless population. That'll be on November 18th at the Semicolon Coffee House. My department hosts a Thanksgiving dinner every year for the group, for my department. And so as part of our service sort of work for the department, after we have our dinner, we're going to go feed the community at Semicolon. So all of you are invited. Details for that will be online as well. I got two more, bear with me. We will be launching a coat drive on Monday, October 23rd. And that will be in conjunction with, I won't say in conjunction with, we are giving a lot of those coats to United Methodist Church, who does feeding programs 7 nights a week. And the numbers that they're feeding, they're doing something like 120 meals a night. And you see people are coming from all over the place, and they're not only homeless individuals. These are families that work. These are families that drive from Carteret, as far as Carteret, to come get meals nightly. So we're putting a coat drive together to be able to be a blessing to some folks. Other than that, we're working on a pretty large project that I don't think we can really spell out right now, just this second, but the city is, definitely the mayor is committed to continuing to do his work. We've been putting a lot of pressure on other towns, other agencies on carrying some of this load. I won't go into all of the pitfalls and challenges we have to deal with, especially as it relates to houses of worship or other agencies and towns sort of sitting by the wayside while we do this work. And then the last thing is just the education on it. again, homelessness is not a winterized issue, it's a year-round issue. So please feel free to contact. I have this memo in the hallway, I have my business card in the hallway, so if anybody has any questions, we are available at all times, and we're always looking for the help. And we like to, call people's bluff, put your money where your mouth is, and let's serve these people in the way we know we can. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you.
It's time. Go ahead. At this time, we're gonna open the public portion part of the meeting. We are preparing to open the meeting for public comment. We have up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Any members of the public wishes to speak to the council, please come up. You have 5 minutes. And just to remind everyone, it's a comment part of the meeting. It's not a question and answer period. So I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yes, Danielle Moore. First, I would like to start off due to where regards to too much robbery on Oxford Street. I know Mr. Paul Dean has been making a lot of complaints due to where people are robbing him, and other neighbors are showing me videos extremely too much robbery. Where, wow, I provide evidence to New Brunswick Police Department with robbery, but how New Brunswick Police Department tells me they cannot go by video. They tell me too many made-up rules telling me, wow, if they're not there, they can't do nothing about it. But honestly, like I said, I'm a witness to Mr. Paul Dean due to where, with videos of robbery, plus with other neighbors breaking into trucks. Come on, time for New Brunswick Police Department to do something with all those people in the area over there by B&P gas station and Walgreens, because I'm in extreme too much robbery. The next thing I would say, like I said, I'm very angry that you fired Brittany due to where the wrong person, due to where I have plenty of evidence of the ones that you should have fired. You didn't, but until she gives me permission to release the evidence, then we'll go from there. Now, I'm going to do to where I was in two hours a day with harm reduction today, learning due to where, like I said, my buddy John, he knows that I save lives due to where how I'm working with a woman that has mental issues, she's suffering. I found her at least 3 times due to where she has no family, but I told them to keep me as contact, where I work with a lot of people from the street, but one thing I'm getting angry with, that's New Brunswick Police Department. I tell you, I've had enough with harassing, and I will take it to the new news channel with evidence regards to Council Member Suzanne Takora Ludwig announcing to the public that, wow, my phone is not on a tracker, due to where I tell you, I'm tired of it. That was October 2nd. I was donated 40 bottles of Narcan from United Methodist Church, passing them on where I have video. I put it up on Facebook. They asked me, since I knew the hot spots, to put them in the locations. New Brunswick Police Department following me, detectives following me like I was a drug seller, selling things, which I don't appreciate it, due to where, please, like I said, I'm a person who's touched by the Lord to help the people, save people. Just like I told Mr. Jones, sure, you're going to have a plenty new list of people, due to where how many people on George Street that I was chilling out with last summer, New Brunswick Police Department, thinking I was doing something else. I put all of them, help all of them get in hotels, houses. So yes, he will see quite a few different names due to where I'm helping people. But one thing, I'm getting tired of the harassment with New Brunswick Police Department. Not even just with that. I asked Lieutenant Hoover, I thought I can trust him, due to where another reason why I'm tired of New Brunswick Police Department following me. I even showed him the birth certificate of my son's daddy, due to where his name and date of birth, and I gave it to him. I told him he has 6 different vehicles. I'm tired of every time I'm being picked up off the street. Wow, officer that sees me, I got police officers sitting in front of my house like I'm damn prostituting. Wow, did I trust him? Oh, I got a video of everything. Like I said, I'm tired of the harassment. Why don't you go after the real damn criminals? Because I'm not no criminal
prostitute, why don't you go out there and do them? But I'm not gonna keep taking it where what? Your guys are following me like I'm a criminal. I am touched by the Lord. I saw how many people I save every day where the Lord leads me to help it. What? Every EMS knows my name by heart. Why? Because like I said, that is my job. Everybody do I get blessed for what I do? But I tell you, I'm tired of the harassment and I'm tired of you council members defending New Brunswick Police Department and what they should be doing. And like I said, I'm following me 3 times, being sure my son's daddy has 6 different vehicles. Was following me from where I'm picked up off the street, and while your officers and the detectives are waiting in front of my house with a spotlight on to my son. Wow, mommy, what is the police doing now? Wasn't that the same one from down there? What, thinking that I'm prostituting? Wow, and like I said, I trusted you, Lieutenant Hoover, from the bottom of my heart. Did you take it serious? No, I see you're just another devil of the crew. And like I said, please, I care and show more concern than you council members do here in New Brunswick.
Thank you. Anybody else want to go with the police report of the council?
May you have your day.
Anybody else before we close the session?
I'd like to comment on it. My name's Tom Rooney. I've been a nurse at Robert Johnson for 35 years. I came to New Brunswick in 1987. I've watched the hospital grow. I've watched a lot of council members come and go also. Just a word of warning, that hospital is not going to be worth anything in a few months if this continues. There's 1,700 people on the street. I don't recognize any faces from here having come to the picket line to support the nurses. We spend a lot of money around New Brunswick. We always have. We support restaurants, we go to events. But that hospital in a few months is not going to be worth anything. And that was Barnes' plan right from the beginning to drive this hospital into the ground. And we're very nearly there. So I think it's time for the council to wake up and end this nonsense. Tell them they cannot do this to human beings. It's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, my name is John Shu of Edison, New Jersey. And I'm here to support the nurses here. It's very important to hear their stories, to understand what's going on, why they are on strike here. That's certainly affecting the city and the surrounding areas, for the quality of health. So I encourage you all to talk to the nurses, understand what's going on, understand they're striking for safe staffing levels. And as the nurses have more patients to care for, the morbidity, the rate of death goes up. And that's something that a public health concern that we should all should be concerned about. So I do encourage the council here to pass a resolution supporting legislation at the state level that we can have these safe staffing levels. This is a legislation S304 A4536. This is sponsored by Joe Vitale, the senator from Woodbridge. He knows it's a very important bill, but he does need the public support and local governments to be support behind him as well. The representative here, Bob Smith, for Legislative District 17, he has said he will co-sponsor this bill in the upcoming lame duck session this year. So looking forward to seeing that from Senator Smith. And we really hope that Assemblyman Egan and Assemblyman Danielson co-sponsor this bill as well. It's important for the local office, for the local health, and also for the state health and benefit of patients. I just want to let folks know there's a town hall coming up in Somerville. This is Saturday, October 21st at 1 p.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are just letting folks know, the nurses are letting folks know what's going on. We want to reach out to the community and raise the awareness and raise support from the community. And this district is Andrew Swicker's district, and it's very important to say that he has co-sponsored the bill as well. So we're happy that he has done that. And Sadat Jaffer also said that she will co-sponsor the bill. But we know she's outgoing assemblywoman. So we hope the replacement for her, or the person running Mitchell Drillis will also co-sponsor the bill, as well as Friedman. We have many nurses who are residents of Hillsborough and other areas in Legislative District 16, which is Zwicker's district. And I know this co-sponsorship will be important for those nurses in order for them to vote and to support these candidates. And one last thing, we were going to have an event with Bernie Sanders. Is going to be coming here. Very happy to hear that as a delegate for Bernie Sanders. He will be coming to Brunswick next Friday at 9 a.m. at Rutgers in the Nicholas Music Center at 9 a.m. It's going to be a congressional hearing on public safety and to help the status of the hospital system and the healthcare system in the United States. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Hi, good evening. How are you? My name is Maureen Ringen. I'm a nurse at Robert Wood Johnson for 23 years, and I do reside in Hillsborough, New Jersey. I will be attending a meeting just like this next Tuesday in support of all my colleagues at Robert Wood Johnson. One thing I want to bring up that's on top of what you just mentioned is how the nurses are feeling about the safe staffing, and I think that's something that all of you should know about. So if a nurse should be in NICU, which is neonatal ICU, these nurses should only have 2 patients. These nurses, most of the time, are having 4 patients. So they're going baby to baby to baby to baby and starting all over again. Baby to baby to baby to baby. And these nurses are working 12-hour shifts, and they're not able to do any of their documentation or any of their work until the next nurse comes in. They're then spending an extra 2 hours doing their paperwork, and then they're going home and may have to come back in again for another 12-hour shift. I can move to ICU. Some nurses should only be 1-to-1, or maybe even 1-to-2, because patients are very, very ill. And as you all know, this is the level 1 trauma center. We have the sickest patients in New Jersey. So some nurses in ICU should only get up to 2 patients. They're receiving up to 3 patients. How do we do our job properly? We put our life on the line during COVID. We put our licenses on the line. We need help from members of the community just like you. And we can't do that. We realize that we're going up against a big behemoth right down the street. But we need your help in seeing what we go through day to day, because I don't think everybody knows that. Maybe even our administrators don't know that. I'm sitting up for my nurses that I work side by side. I may be an OR nurse, and I have 1 patient all the time, but that doesn't mean that I don't stand up for my fellow colleagues. And I hope you will too.
Good evening, Council. Charlie Pratt, New Brunswick, today. I do want to start off by saying rest in peace, Willie Weaver, and appreciate the moment of silence and the acknowledgement of his passing. I didn't know him well, but he was always a gentleman to me, and I know he was very well liked in the community, did a lot of work, especially with kids. So God bless him and his family, and my condolences. I do have to clarify the ordinance on the Lower George Street redevelopment plan, part 2. Did that pass or did that Fail.
Didn't,
Did not
did
pass.
not.
Fail, okay, thank you. I want to ask the same, or follow up on the same item I raised last time. So many folks have brought up this bill for safe staffing. Has the council had a chance to research it? Will you consider adopting a resolution calling for its passage?
As I mentioned at the last meeting with the other nurses were here, even were very passionate and true explanations and what they're fighting for. I made very clear that as the council, we don't take any, we don't get involved in any labor matters, but individually, that's something different. And as for me, I support the bill, like me, individual. So, and we heard at the last time, also at the last, that there was some of the other of my colleagues that also supported that bill. So, that's what I would say.
Okay. Well, I would just encourage you then, if there's enough support on the council to place a resolution on the agenda to formally support it. I know that was done for the bill that ultimately did give undocumented residents driving privileges, the ability to, go through the same test process and get a driver's license. You did that, and you made a difference by passing a resolution. I encourage you to do the same thing to support these nurses who have made the strongest possible case for why this is not just about them, but it's really about all of us. And also pleased to see the Senate Health Committee going to have a hearing right here in New Brunswick to discuss safe staffing. It highlights the role that legislators can play in leading in terms of getting to the bottom of problems and finding solutions. So I look forward to that next Friday. I do have to ask about the second chances. So Anthony Jones Jr., police officer, resigned his job in disgrace, rehired by the city government as a firefighter. We've gone back and forth about this, and it's become clear that the council thinks it's okay to give him a second chance. And I have to ask about something I messaged you about last night. I was really disappointed to learn that Raymond Trigg, the former police lieutenant for New Brunswick, who also resigned in disgrace, has been substitute teaching in the New Brunswick public school system. And I wanted to ask if any of the council has any comment on that at all. Do you think that's the kind of second chance that he should be getting?
For me, I'm not going to make any comments, especially because that's a personal matter for the Board of Education. So, it's a matter there. So that's all I have to say.
I would welcome any council member that wants to comment. You know where to find me.
If they want to comment, then make sure that
You know where to find me. I also wanted to address some public safety issues. So October 2nd, 1 p.m., Joyce Kilmer Park, shooting was reported. Reportedly somebody was shot, but the officers didn't locate any victims. October 8th, 12:19 a.m., Morris Street, police responded to reports of shots fired, and there was property damage to a building and to 2 vehicles as a result of a shooting incident. I thought where we left it was that when there's shootings in public, the public would be notified through the city's social media channels. And I double-checked today, and I didn't see anything on those. Can you tell me, or can somebody from the police tell me why the October 2nd and October 8th shootings were not reported to the public?
I think we talked about you mean in Nixon?
I would like to see it on Nixon since that's
You mean the report that usually the police have the crime report?
What's that?
Where didn't you see this report?
I found out about it by filing Oprah requests.
And so where is it that you wanted to see it at?
Well, the city said that if there's a shooting and it's in public, right, like outside, like these were, that it would be published on like the city government Facebook page, and you have done that a few times.
There's a threat to the community, but I'm going to ask Lieutenant Hoover, you have any comments on that?
I'm having trouble hearing. I think he's asking about Nixle again?
No, he's asking about why was the incident of October 2nd and 18th, there were shootings, and there was nothing indicated in the pages or telling the community that this happened.
Okay.
And according to his understanding, we have said that when there's anything that of that nature, that we will place we'll put it in the city website or announce it to the community.
Okay, I don't administer city websites or social media, but I have a different understanding altogether. Want to shoot me an email, we'll tackle this and get on the same page.
All right,
Okay.
I'll follow up after the meeting, and I do have an even more troubling one that I'll approach you afterwards about, since my time is up. Thank you.
Hi, first off, I want to say that the update around services for the homeless and vulnerable populations is great to have. I think there will be more updates like that in the future. I think that using meetings like this, council meetings, an opportunity, a forum for informing the public of what the city is doing with various programs is great. So happy to have that update. I think Keith Jones is not here anymore. But yeah, definitely was pleased to hear about the relaunching of the municipal outreach team. I'm wondering how one would get involved in joining that team or hear about opportunities to pitch in. I don't know if anyone who is still here would know the answer to that.
So have you heard him, any questions or anything, just call directly his office, the department that he runs, and hopefully we'll give you the answers. If you don't grab him on his way out, Mr. Etebo might be out there, but if not, just reach out to them directly.
Okay. I was also very excited in how to hear that there's 211 services at Unity Square. I live right near there. I had no idea, and I'm going to make sure that the individuals in need that are on my block are aware of those services. Definitely some of them have expressed frustration trying to access 211 services on the phone, so that sounds like a great resource. And with regards to the harm reduction services potentially taking over Code Blue, I think that also sounds like it, probably will be a good thing. And I just hope that the city, if and when that should happen, will continue to provide resources at the same or greater level as it currently does for Code Blue and other like services. It's really wonderful when community partners can step up and take more of a leading role in things, but I think that that should always be seen as an opportunity to expand services rather than just handing them off. So just something for consideration. I don't know what the current plans may be on that front. I know you said earlier something about Feaster Park, and that seemed like we had an answer on that with the hours supposedly being 7:30 a.m. to 3 or 3:15 p.m.
3:15 was the staff actually.
Yeah, and I know I've brought this up at the past couple of meetings that whatever it may in theory be on paper when the bathrooms are supposed to be open, the reality is that I've been to the park dozens of times, always between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. Usually somewhere in the middle, like noon or 1 o'clock, and never once have they been open. So I don't know what the disconnect is, but I just want to make it very clear that while maybe in theory the question has been answered, in reality is a different matter. So I hope that we'll continue to pursue that, because again, really it's only a public amenity if the public can actually access it, and to my knowledge, the public has not been able to access that at any point. And then I am glad they made a statement in support of the safe staffing legislation. In the last meeting, encouraged supportive words from 3 other council members in support of our nurses. And given that the council has in the past weighed in on state legislation collectively by passing a resolution in support of a specific piece of legislation, I can't understand any reason why the council wouldn't choose to do that in this case as well. There's 7 members of the council, 4 members have already expressed words of support for our nurses and for safe staffing. That's a majority of the council already, in theory, supporting this. So is there any reason why the council is not moving on this right now?
Like I said, we have, in terms of the other labor matters, we don't get involved. We were not talking about the resolution.
Well, it's not this isn't a union thing, this is legislation.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. We have not had a chance to discuss as a, the resolution. So I was talking about the others, in general. I support it. There were so many people that support it. If that's something I don't have any challenge of talking to my colleagues and see if this is something that they will support moving forward. So, because it's a resolution supporting the bills, as we had done in the past, like it was mentioned before, with other matters. So, I will commit myself to ask and see if this is something that the council will entertain. Okay?
And can you make a commitment that we'll have an answer on that by the next council meeting?
I will do my best to have an answer for the next meeting, absolutely. Do my best.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
President, if you would, if the parks facility is not open, I would like to know at the time, if that's okay, may I give a phone number?
Yeah, and I was gonna say that we, they have to monitor what is, the time. So maybe we could talk to you after the meeting just to get that information.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Carol Tansey. I'm a nurse at Robert Wood Johnson. I was here at the last meeting when we did talk about the legislation. And I would like to echo the comments of the other people that this isn't a labor dispute, as Senator Sanders is characterizing it as a healthcare crisis, which absolutely affects this community directly. And while we're not trying to be melodramatic in the retelling of our stories, they're in fact factual. And they are meant to shine a light on what has not been discussed publicly by nurses ever. It's not something that we parade around because we don't want the public to feel unsafe. Except it's reached a level now that's not tenable anymore. It's not sustainable, it's not safe, it's not ethical, it's not moral. So while you are hesitant to enter into any kind of a labor strike issue, I encourage you to look at it more like everyone was saying, that it is truly a healthcare crisis. And it's a problem that has gotten worse, not gotten better in any way. And if the entities that are making decisions can't see it for what it is, that it's a profits over patient issue at this point, they can spend $80 million on replacement nurses. There's no way this problem couldn't have been fixed. There's no way that this problem couldn't have been fixed. Give me the checkbook, I'll handle it. I can balance that budget easily. And the fact that people are hesitant to weigh on this so seemingly right and wrong issue, to me there is no other side. If you don't agree that safe staffing is a problem or important to the community that we're serving, I don't understand what your other side of the argument could possibly be. I don't understand who can argue against that and what the reasons could be. What it points to is money, which is never a good answer when we're talking about human lives, when we know the money is there. It's not an austerity issue by any stretch of the imagination. It's an issue of moral obligation to the community, and I implore you to be on the right side of this because it does affect everybody. It affects your families, it affects the community that we all serve together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Thank you.